Thanks for joining. In this episode, we get a chance to hear from someone who's been on the front lines over a decade, experiencing the day-to-day challenges of working in consumer goods. I want to introduce you to Rob Hopkins, who can certainly deliver unique perspective, having been on both sides of the fence. Rob started in the industry as an account manager, working directly with customers in his role before he transitioned into a team responsible for building the systems to support those customers. Since then, Rob has joined Aforza in our customer success team, bringing his wealth of experience with him. Rob, why don't you take a couple of minutes to talk us through the roles that you've had the past 10 to 15 years in your career?
Sure. So I started in the consumer goods industry around 25 years ago, firstly in retail and then in sales. And I worked for, at first, a large UK supermarket retailer for 12 years, where I managed various store departments. My final role there being involving liaising with sales reps that would come into store from companies to check on their products. And that was while I was leading the sales-based ordering department. And the role there was ultimately to ensure that the shelves are kept full and the warehouse empty. So he was really controlling all of the stock and order within the store. I then joined a global brewer in 2007 and firstly worked in the telesales department, and then spent 10 years as an account manager in a customer-facing role, managing high-volume customers across Wales and England. And then the last 2.5 years with the brewer, I worked in a global project team, creating a custom Salesforce CRM tool that was then deployed globally across 2,000 users and across 3 continents.
Wow, you've done quite a bit. So with all that, maybe you could share with us what a typical day might look like for an account manager in consumer goods.
Yeah, sure. So I think it's pretty key to point out that no 2 days in sales are ever the same. So you've got many sort of variables that affect your plan during the day. So, adverse weather, traffic, customers not turning up or canceling meetings. And then on top of that, as a sales rep, you may have to sort of replan at short notice. If a customer's being targeted by a competitor, you may need to, sort of down tools and go and see that customer. Or potentially a customer has got technical issues, or has got a failed or incorrect delivery or incorrect pricing. So there's loads of different sort of things that can affect your day. And I guess with that, flexibility is really key. And you often have to sort of juggle that schedule around at short notice, just to manage those problems and issues that may occur through the day. As a sales rep, I guess, you just want to be selling. But what I saw from experience was, and sort of lived and breathed for 10 years, was you spent lots of your time dealing with problems and issues that were arising from, a lack of information, miscommunication, and basic failings that were happening in other parts of the network within the business.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, in that role, you're really the face of the company. You're the sounding board for any problems, anything that's gone wrong, that may or may not be your fault, or that you're not directly responsible for at all. I mean, I guess with that in mind, with everything that could go wrong in that role, what does a good day really look like for someone that's doing that same job?
Yes, I think you're spot on. I think, as that rep, you are the face of the company, and you may be the only person that customer has direct contact with. And you do rely on that network and that infrastructure that sort of sits behind you within the company to be working smoothly, to ensure, deliveries are happening, credit is being managed, maintenance to equipment, etc. And all that is running seamlessly, because any breakdown in that chain, and as that sort of sales rep or account manager, you're normally the first to get the call. So in terms of a good day would be one that probably runs to plan, where, it's very proactive, where you potentially would hit the majority of your goals or your targets. You win that big order, you win that new account. But it can also be really rewarding, a good day where you're helping a customer build their business, because as they build their business and they are selling more products, you normally get the knock-on effect of then, getting that bigger order. So, it's not always a direct sale that's a good day. You could be really setting the foundations with a customer, for that real win-win scenario.
Yeah.
In terms of a bad day, well, it's probably the complete opposite. So, your plan may be disrupted, by an occurrence or something going wrong. It's when you don't achieve those goals that, you're planning to, or you could get, a call from a customer who's basically saying, I've signed a trading agreement with a competitor or a rival, and you need to come and remove your brands, So,
Yeah.
what I found in the sales role is a real roller coaster where you can have some really, really great days, but also some real lows as well. Especially where things haven't quite gone to plan. And I think the key to having more good days than bad days is companies equipping their reps with tools that they need in order to, really identify opportunities and be able to really execute them with customers, but also having connected back office systems that can, give the rep that sort of 360-degree view of the customer, so they're able to see orders and ordering patterns, any delivery errors, any pricing issues, for example. And
Yeah.
what that does, when you're equipped with that information, you're able to act proactively. So, you can potentially sort out problems that you're aware of, even sometimes before the customer themselves are aware of them. And what that does is, gives that customer that great, customer service, and, really sort of drives customer confidence in both you and the company. And what that does is, once the customer has that confidence, it can really open up more sales opportunities and longevity in that trading relationship.
I mean, it sounds like there are quite a few challenges
Mhm.
that reps face in the field. Can you give a bit more detail around what some of these might be specifically?
Yeah, I think, typical challenges or big challenges are, where you've got that lack of information or incorrect or out-of-date information, and also trying to access that information across many different systems and tools and different spreadsheets.
Right.
And when everything's really fragmented, that can cause some real frustration, but it's also really time consuming. But what happens then is, where you're wasting lots of time doing that, you're often missing out on, you know, good sales opportunities. And, I think, sort of building on what I said a bit earlier, if you can really build that 360 view for that sales rep that includes, detail of customer interactions with all touch points, all of a sudden you become aware of any complaints, any issues, but also potentially any buy-in signals that customer may be giving when having those conversations with your colleagues.
Yeah.
And also surfacing, sales information, orders, opportunities, any applicable promotion, and also the agreement that customer should be adhering to. So equipping that sort of sales rep with that information can really ensure that, you're visiting the right outlets at the right time and really executing the right actions with your customers when you're there.
No, that makes sense. I mean, I would imagine that these challenges are pretty consistent with most CG companies, if not a large proportion of them. Does this have something to do with why you decided to join a company like Aforza, that delivers solutions to equip these sales reps with these tools?
Yeah, totally. I think to the first part of your question, I think the majority of CG companies will be using tools and functionality that either don't fully support the field sales users, or, brutally honest, they're probably not fit for purpose. And, while I was in role and doing that customer facing account manager role, I was always very vocal that our retail execution tool was very limited. And
Yeah.
and the reason it seemed to be limited was it was designed by the IT department without any input from actual sales reps. And what was happening then was the decisions that were being made around the tool were based on cost rather than the usability and user functionality for the end user. So I had a real sort of great desire to be part of a team that could really add value to users. And, I was quite fortunate almost to be in the right place at the right time to be able to move into that position in that sort of IT role. And, the company then obviously decided to build that custom build solution for this
Yeah.
CRM tool for the global team of sales users and account managers. And over that 2.5 years, it was a really sort of great journey to be on where, one by one, we were able to retire legacy systems and tools and really start to build that sort of customer 360 view for that end user.
No, that makes sense. Can you go a little bit deeper as to why you took the final leap and crossed the line into software vendor to join Aforza?
Yeah, of course. I was fortunate enough to have heard a bit about Aforza and the brilliant sort of technology and the things they developed and were continuing to develop as well. So when I was given the opportunity to join Aforza, it was something I really jumped at and was really excited about. And, what I see and what I feel is that, Aforza, we're really leading the way with lots of this technology, so that we're able to connect promotions to, execution in the field. We've got, really powerful segmentation that can, really quickly dissect an account base to, a really granular level, which then enables a company to sort of target activity or promotion at that small group of customers. But on top of that, we've got, smart insights and, we can make those available to users instantly and offline, but coupled with, using AI to sort of predict outcomes and also, predict that perfect order. So I think, we've got an armory of really powerful stuff that's absolutely going to drive value for, the company and also the user. And, joining Aforza has given me that opportunity to sort of continue that journey of helping to equip those users with, great technology, but now on a much wider and diverse scale. And, I'm currently working in the customer success team and have a, huge passion for customer success and seeing customers succeed. So I'm really enjoying sort of leveraging my sort of CG experience and the Aforza technology that we have in order to really delight our customers and users.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that with us, Rob. If any of these challenges sound familiar to you in your business, please do not hesitate to reach out to us at Aforza. As you've heard, we have the people that understand your business and how it works and the challenges you face. And we also have the technology to help improve it. So we look forward to hearing from you, and thank you for joining. Bye.